Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to educate you or talk to you about the fine line between substance use and mental health. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to put a link to an article that I just read. It's about this young man. I guess he belongs to a rock group or a rap group called the Island Boys. I'm not familiar with their music. And it says here, the Island Boys rapper, I guess there's two rappers part of this group. The Island Boys rapper tells us he's heading into detox to address his substance issues and focus on becoming a better version of himself and a better father. As we reported, so this is the article talking about, I guess this is TMZ reporting, he was detained in Florida last year under the Baker Act after police say he took multiple substances and suffered a psychotic episode. I suspect there was some marijuana involved here because that's what typically causes psychotic episodes. Officers at the time reportedly took nail polish for blood and feared he might try to harm himself. Afterwards, he said he was grateful to be evaluated, but clarified, "I have a substance issue, not a mental problem." And I think that was an interesting comment by this young man. And it's not unusual for police to get called to the scene where somebody is clearly having some type of psychotic break caused by substances. Now, the Baker Act statute in the definition of mental illness specifically excludes substance use. So, whether or not this individual actually met criteria to be detained under the Baker Act, I think is certainly an interesting topic for conversation. Interestingly enough, the Marchman Act, which was modified last year along with the Baker Act, now in terms of the way that it can be initiated, basically tracks the Baker Act. And what's interesting when you compare Baker Act versus Marchman Act is that Baker Act is for mental illness and Marchman Act is specifically for substance use. So in theory, the police could have Marchman Acted him because the Marchman Act provides that law enforcement can also initiate a Marchman Act as well as a Baker Act. He could have been Marchman Acted. Now, from our experience of handling cases all over the state of Florida for the last bunch of years, I've only encountered one particular county in Florida that will Marchman Act you if you come into, say, the ER because of an allegation of some type of substance use issue, which caused you potentially to end up in the ER. And so sometimes there's a fine line here, but the bottom line is he thinks he can do the treatment himself. I'm skeptical, not because he's a bad young man, not because he has a character flaw or his music is terrible, whatever we want to paint him with. The point is, it's really hard for somebody with a substance use disorder to not only acknowledge they have a problem, although he seems to have done that, but to stay long enough in a clinically appropriate facility. So listen, we'll all be praying for this young man. But typically when things like this happen, it needs somebody else to make the decision for him. And the fact he's already been detained by the state, I guess questions, my thoughts on whether or not he can actually do this on his own. But hopefully he does. In any event, I'll put a link to the video, to the article in the description to this video. If you have any comments or questions, if you agree with me, you disagree with me, you want me to make a video about a specific issue that's affecting your family, because if it's affecting your family, it's probably affecting other families. I'd be happy to consider doing that for you. If you like the content, please give me a thumbs up. It does help. And if you want more of this content, which I put out on a daily basis, please subscribe to the channel. And with that said, thank you for tuning in. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.